crazy. But it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the light. Don't try to save me. May be wrong for all I know, but you may be right. Cool. Alright. Stop recording. Please wait. Stop streaming. Alright, I think that's it. That's it. Uh-oh, phone. Plug this bad boy in. The other way, you dumb shit. Ooh. Yellow. Let me get this thing in order here. Won't take long. Oh, there we go. Do that, and do that. And Dividend Stock Talk. Dividend Stock Talk. That's much better. Much better. Good evening. I'm just getting started, just getting warmed up. Oh, cool beans. Ooh, it's a smile for a thumbnail. Shit. That's a horrible picture. All right, let's do this. Let's say, who is here tonight? All right, that works. Come on this way, slide all the way down, and go all the way back to the beginning. Ooh, just getting started. New day, new year. This is gonna be fun. Pressure node. My eyes aren't what they used to be. It's horrible. All right, let's see who's here tonight. Joseph, how you doing? Mike. Michael. Oh, is that Miguel? Okay. Winslow, Joe, Lynn, Jose, Sadar, L, Patrick, Flat Roof, Craig, Annie, Rimo, N-Tap. Ooh, somebody wants to take a look at Tap. Georgia, I'm starting a little late at 50 years old. Dude, I'm 60. So it's not that bad. Mr. Tyler, how are you? Lindarella, how are you doing? Rocky, Crystal, welcome. Let's get started. Why? Because I got nothing else to do. Well, it's kind of fun. Golden Years is awesome. It is. You get to do what you want, whenever you want. Don't have to worry about where the money's coming from. It's really cool. How did I get started? I got started by having way too much money. Now, seriously, when I got out of the service, Um, I joined a company. They promoted me quick, and then I just did my own business for a while. That got me more money than I knew what to do with. Sold it, got divorced, all that kind of nice, neat stuff. Had to start over again just a few years ago. Okay, so if I could do it a few years, you guys can do it in a few years. It's not that big a deal, one day at a time. But it is New Year's Day. I'm not really quite sure what you guys want to talk about tonight, but let's do something anyway. Because that's what we're here for. We're here to learn from each other. Okay, you guys know what I do. All right, so what it is you want to look at. Let's take a look. Lindarella, good evening. I'm looking at CVS. You know, I actually have some CVS, so let's go take a look. Come on. Here we go, CVS. Now, like I said, I do have some CVS, so look where it is. The high was back in April. The low is recently within the last couple of weeks. Well, cool. Okay, because you don't want to buy at the high of the year, but at the bottom of the year, watch it until it drops. There's a floor somewhere. Somewhere is a rock bottom. Could this be it? I don't know. It could be. So let's take a look. So the high of the year is 84.43. She drops, trades for a while, drops again. Look at that. Nice little channel. That's nice. Going sideways. But then she dips right here. So let's zoom into that and see what that looks like. All right, here's the last 30 days. What I like about the 30-day chart, because it's 1 week, 2 week, 3 weeks, it's only 4 weeks. It's like, what happened last week? What happened the week before? Momentum. What are the investors thinking? Okay, this is what we're thinking. The 30-day high right here drops down. Look at the support here. It does not seem to want to go below 43. So cool. Let's call that the bottom. Now, look what happened on Tuesday. Here's the bottom here and went up. Could this be the place where it turns around? I don't know. Let's take a look at the numbers, see what it says. No nickname. What's happening? Oh, I should go back up. Uh-oh. Because I'm missing all these questions. All right. I'm going to hold the comments right there. All right. And then we're going to finish up with CVS. So, the way that it looks, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but the way it looks, your 30-day high, your 30-day bottom, it looks like a pretty good solid bottom to me, but what the hell do I know? I mean, you make up your own minds. But to me, I mean, look at it. Anyway, that being the point, so where do you think it's going to go? Here's the question. Do you like the company? CVS, they've been around for a whole shit. There's a CVS in over almost every major city. Some cities got more than one. There's a whole bunch of them out there. And they're pushing the last prescription drugs. They get rid of all the other drug dealers. You got Walmart, CVS, Walgreens. They got rid of Rexall. They got rid of, who else did they get rid of? So the legal drug dealers are getting smaller and smaller. Anyway, besides the point. CVS, do you like it? That's the question. Okay, great, fine. Well, it's currently at 44.89. Let's see what a covered call would look like on it. Now, the reason why I like covered calls, they're simple. They're easy and they're safe. And if you can get 1% every week, well, why not? All right, anyway. Here we go. CVS, 44.89. So next week, we could buy it. Well, tomorrow morning, we buy this at 45, if you like it. Okay? But if I buy it at 45 tomorrow morning, okay, I could sell the 45 call option for next week, and it would get me 98 cents. Now, 98 cents doesn't sound like a lot, but that's over 2%. So imagine that, 2% for 1 week. So 2% for 1 week, that's over 100% for the year. It's like, oh, that works for me. But you got to ask yourself the question, do I like CVS enough to take that risk? Because it could go down. Okay, that's all stocks do. They go up. Where's the chart? Here we go. They go up and they go down. Oh, it's not a very good one to show you because there's no up there. Let's go back a little bit. This will paint my picture a little better, okay? Ready? Stocks, they go down, they go up, they go down, they go up. That's all they do. The idea is, well, for me, this is what worked for me, okay? The idea is this is what it's doing this week. This is what it did last week. This is what it did the week before. And at this time of year, with the dividend coming up, well, people like the dividend. So the stock has a tendency to go up just before the dividend. Okay, great. So if the dividend is coming up and the stock's getting ready to go up in value, and a covered call is one of the safest trading strategies there is, like hell, let's put two and two together. Okay, 1 to 2% every single week. That's over 50% a year. And guess what? They are so simple and safe, predictable, and consistent. It's like, why the hell not? All right, anyway. So I do like CVS, all right, and the numbers do look good, but as you can see, I already own some CVS, so I'm not ready to get more of it. But I am willing to roll my position over so I get my consistent cash flow from it. So even though I own it, I want to get rid of it for the exact same price I paid for it. But while I'm holding on to it, I get to collect the dividends and I get to collect a premium every single week. And that comes to over 1% a week, and that's what I'm looking to do. And I'm just sharing with you good folks. So what else do we want to talk about? Okay, Wade, I understand that. Good comment. C3 AI, if you don't mind. Okay, Devil, do we know what the ticker symbol is for that? Because I've never heard of it. And if we're talking about AI, it's a relatively new technology. Well, it may not be new, but it's kind of new to us. You know, when I say new, the stock market's 400 years old. Most of the companies I look at are 100 years old, 50 years to 100 years old, because I want that safety factor, right? C3IA, I don't think they have 20 years of increased dividends, if they have any dividends at all. See, I don't know what the ticker symbol is. So I personally try to stay away from things like that. Now, it may be a great opportunity for someone to buy it and if it shoot up in price. But like I said before, I'm not looking for capital appreciation. I'm looking for safety, predictability, and consistency. Now, I want to get 1% a week, and it just so happens to be 50% per year, which not very many people get. But I'm still looking for the safety factor. And the reason why I get 50% or more a year is because I only stick with companies that are boring and don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just safety, predictability, and consistency works for me. Okay, I'm counting on the numbers. What do I mean by that? Well, stock market's been around for 400 years. Okay, options just jumped into the game back in the 70s. So it's a good bet that the stock market's going to be here for a while. I mean, it's been here for over 400 years now. So yeah, it'll probably be here for the rest of my duration. So if this simple strategy can get me 1% every single week for the rest of my life, well, how? It gives me something to look forward to. I get to get up in the morning, get to have fun. I get to document my life for my children and my grandchildren. So hopefully when they're watching it, they can see what a crazy guy, Papa G was. It is what it is. We all do things for our own reasons. And this is the reason why I'm doing this. Sharing with you good folks. And I hope some of you guys learn and be able to do it too. See, I got 5 simple rules. You know what? It is so childish, the rules. It's like silly. Because I created this for my 9-year-old daughter when she was 9. She said, Daddy, I want to do what you're doing. I said, okay, fine. Let me figure something out. All right, so it had to be easy. It had to be simple. Wait a minute. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent. Yeah, simple. And no way for her to lose. Okay, so I had to teach a 9-year-old how to trade stocks. All right, that's the criteria. Simple, safe, predictable, consistent, and no way that she could lose. All right, so the 5 rules. Very simple. Rule number 1, and it's really not that big of a rule. It's a simple one. Never buy something you don't understand. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you don't know who the company is and you don't know what they do, well, don't buy it. And then if you know the company and you understand it and you want to know more about it, well, fine. What's the 52-week high? What's the 52-week low? Are they consistently profitable? What is the certain key factors I need to know about some place I'm going to entrust my money to? Because you're giving your money to this company and the company is using it to create more business, blah, 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 give you a return on your money, blah, blah. The whole wheels keep going. So that is why I only like companies that are consistently profitable and have some age to them. All right, I don't discriminate, but if I had my choice, okay, there's 9,000. Now we checked the other day, 9,848 companies I can invest in. That's a lot. So how do you decide who you want to invest in? Well, I want to invest in only those companies that are consistently profitable. And how do you figure that out? Well, simple. You look at the quarterly reports, the annual reports, or you can go right to the dividends, because the dividends is a portion of the profits the company gives back to the investors as an incentive for investing in their company. So if their dividend gets higher every single year and the dividend is a portion of the profit, they must be getting more profitable every year. So here it is. I'm an extremely lazy trader. I am. Okay? I don't sit in front of the computer. I let someone else do the work for me. And what do I mean by that? Well, the stocks that I like are the Dividend Kings. Well, there's somebody online who maintains that list, and he gets paid to maintain that list. Dividend Kings list 2025 will be available in a couple of days, I'm assuming, because it's updated at the beginning of every year, and we're at the beginning of the year, so the list should be available soon. Okay, as soon as we find it, I double check my list. Well, are there any new companies being added to the Dividend Kings list? And if you don't know who the Dividend Kings are, those are companies that have consistently increased their dividends, their payments, their share of the profits back to the investors for a minimum of 5 decades. Some of these companies have been consistently increasing for 70 years. Can you imagine 70 years, every year, higher and higher and higher profits? Well, that's where I want to put my money in. Okay, don't get me wrong, okay? The glamorous buy it here and have it shoot to the moon, yeah, that's great, but sorry, I'm past that phase in my life. I want safety. I want to make sure my money is consistently growing and I'm able to live off of what I have. Now, at a 1% a week, which is 50% a year, imagine. So if you have 50 grand, 50% is 25. Okay, if you have 100 grand, well, 50% of that is 50,000. If you have 500,000, 50% of that is 250,000, and that's every single year. And the main body doesn't go down because you're sticking with companies that are American economy. Okay, your brothers, your aunts, your uncles, your nephews, the guy down the street, the guy with the beat up pickup truck, yeah, him. They all go to companies that work, that make the economy run, that makes this world work the way that it does. Because we're all different, but we're all the same. We all have 10 fingers, 10 toes, all that biology crap. And then we all have the same things in mind. We want good health and happiness for our family and friends. Okay, cool. So we're all different, but we're all the same. So anyway, make it short, I'm here to share what I do. I'm sharing dividend stocks for weekly cash flow, kind of nice. I'm getting off track. This is what happens. I'm still celebrating the day. Okay. Richie, CVS is an uptrend with news. Well, that's cool. Okay. Thank you for that, Richie. I'm convinced. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Philippe, thank you, because this stuff is confusing. Uh-oh. Philip, if it's confusing, what do you got? AI is the ticker symbol. Ooh, all right. Well, let's take a look at it. AI. Interesting. They got options. Okay, cool. Well, let's see how often they have increased their dividends to their shareholders. Okay, see, now, I have a problem with this. Okay? There are no dividends in this selected time period, which means they don't have dividends. They don't share their profits. Not that that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's just that it's not on my radar. I don't even look at companies like that. I don't, honestly, really, seriously, I don't care. If it's 50 cents and it jumps up to 3, 4, 5, 10 bucks, I honestly don't care. I'm past that point in my life. I don't want to take risks. Sorry. No dividends, no thank you. I use the dividend to tell me when the stock usually moves. And if a company has been consistently paying out dividends, well, they have a very predictable pattern in all their charts. And the information is available for free. So I'm just showing you how to find it and put it together. All right, anyway, let's keep on going. Howdy, microchip. You got to give me the ticker symbol. Okay? Got it. Howdy. Microchip is the company that makes the chips to Tesla products and Apple products. AI, no dividends. Yep, thank you. Makes sense. Okay. Devin Dell. Glad you like it, Devin. All right. But thanks for the, I appreciate the interaction. I appreciate, the questions. I'm just very particular with what I do because I've been doing the exact same thing for the last 15 years, and you know what? What the hell? Let's open one up and take a look. Right there. I'm going to show you a video real quick on YouTube that I did 12 years ago. Okay. All right. See what I'm talking about right here? 1 year chart, 90-day chart, 30-day chart, looking for the trend. See, it's all written down here in this video that I did 2013. I'm showing you the exact same thing because it hasn't changed in the 15 years since I've been doing it. And and the videos I did 10, 15 years ago was talking about the exact same things I'm talking about right here. The information's out there. It's free. Why not take advantage of it if you have the opportunity and if you have the desire? It's there. All right. Anyway, I don't even know where I was going at with that one. Let's keep on going. Yeah. So dividends gotta have dividend, which help knowledge of AI. Yeah. All right. I get it. You like the AI thing. Nothing wrong with that at all. KB, how you doing? Simone, how are you doing? Chad, Jim, 400 years. Yep. Believe it or not, Chad, 1602 was the very first dividend stock sold. 1602. Some of the companies that are still available in the stock market you can buy are over 200 years old. There's a company here in the United States on the stock market for over 200 years. Okay? Yep, 1602 is the very first dividend stock ever sold that I know of. Okay, there may have been one earlier. Okay? From the current stock market situation we have. Okay, they tried it decades and centuries ago. Didn't work, but the one we in now has been around for over 400 years. All right, hey, let's get back to where we were. More questions. Ooh, General Electric. Philip wants to take a look at General Electric. Okay, interesting. Let's take a look. Okay, here's the high, 195. Here's the low. What is that? Right now, 105. That's for the year. She jumps up nicely, moves along. Here's the high, pulls back. So let's take a look at this area because this is where we are now. So this is what's already happened over here. January, all that crap. Okay, now we're here. All right, last year, now we're here. All right, so as we're progressing, where is it going this week, next week? Well, let's take a gander. Okay, here's the last 90 days, the last 3 months. Here's the high, went up, pulls back, up, down, up. Remember that up-down thing I was telling you about? Yeah, that's all it does. Okay, so right now it shows it on a little bit of a downtrend. So let's zoom in a little bit closer. Because the closer you get, the better idea you have of what's actually going on. Okay? So 30 days ago, that's where we were. Almost at a 30-day high. And then it drops down, and here's your 30-day bottom right there. Okay, you get a 30-day bottom. What usually happens, it usually goes back up again until it turns around. Okay, so now it's going back down. So we're a little late to the party on this one. Okay, maybe last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. If you like a company, okay, if you like one. Now, General Electric, they've been in business for over 100 years. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be on your list. I mean, think about it. 100-year-old company. They're consistent with their dividends. They consistently increase. And we all know who they are. And if you can get 1% a week trading this, why not? The current price is 172. 172. The ones now 167. Damn it! I hate it when they do that. 166, 172. That's a $6 spread. During the market hours, it's only a 2 to 3 cent spread. during market hours. Okay, when they stop trading for the week, they do this crap just to mess with us. Anyway, so the last traded price was 166.79. So I'd be looking toward the 167s right here, 233. Now, 233, what is an option? It's something that, it's an agreement between you and whoever you're making the agreement with, which you don't know who that is, but you don't really care because, anyway, it's the infamous you. All right, so here we go. If I buy the stock right now at this price, okay, 167, okay, the close was 166.79, so hypothetically speaking, it should be opening close to that. So if that's the number I use, 167. Now, remember, as soon as the market opens in the morning, all these numbers change, but the math problem is still the same. This will be the stock price you pay, the closest strike price for the covered call, and then what is it selling for? Then is it 1% or more? How do you figure out 1%? Well, if the stock price is 172, 1% would be 172. Okay, $172. 1% is $1.72. Okay, 1%. Just move the decimal point over 2 places. 172, move the decimal point over, 172 is 1%. But look, the premium collecting would be 233. So in this example, that is well over 1%, and that's what I'm looking for. General Electric, I know who they are. Okay, the number is telling me over 1%. That's what I'm looking for. However, the chart is telling me I missed it by a week. Actually, about 2 weeks. Because at the top is here, 30-day bottom's here, 2 days to the upside. That's where I should have jumped in if I was looking at it. Now, there's probably a reason why I wasn't looking at it. When do they pay their dividend? Because I like to jump into companies just before the dividend. Because just before the dividend, the stock has a tendency to go up. And if it's going to go up, well, I want to be there and go for the ride. Go for the ride. Okay, here's the high, here's the low, bounces off, goes up. When it's done, it comes back down again. And when it comes back down, we look for another bottom with 3 days to the upside. It's kind of boring, but it's the same thing over and over and over again. And if you've been trading long enough, you know that General Electric pays its dividends 4 times a year, once per quarter. Quarter 1, January, February, March. Quarter 2, April, May, June. Quarter 3, July, August, September. And quarter 4, October, November, December. So tomorrow starts week number 1, okay, for 2025. All of the profit and loss year-to-dates go to 0. So we actually start over again tomorrow. That ought to be fun because we're bringing stocks over that we owned last year, and then we're going to be trading them again this year. So you see how it all balances out. And I'm wondering, is that going to change the fact that I bought the stocks last year? When they do the calculations, profit and loss year to date, if they're changing, do they go back to the original purchase price? Or do they go to what was the price of January 2nd at 9 a.m. or 9:30 a.m. market open? How do they do that? I'm kind of curious. Because you can't have profit and loss year to date in January. So you're like starting over again. So it's not like they take 12 months and they average it out. No. They go from January 1st to December 31st. How much did you make in that time frame? But if you bought that stock from, October, September, or even December, and you brought it into the new year, how do they do the calculations there? I'm kind of curious. Because I know what I bring in every week. That part's easy. That part you just go to, monitor, account statement. All right, then it gives you trade history. And then you just plug in whatever stock you're looking for, and it tells you exactly what trades you made. Okay, and each time you sold something, that's how much money you brought in. Okay, so that part's the easy part, how much I make every single week. But the part where it says profit and loss year to date as compared to what you bought for, which compared to what it is, plus, minus, all that kind of crap, yeah, that shit gets confusing. I don't want to look at that stuff. I want to look at, well, I have 100,000 in the account. I'm looking to get 1,000 every week. All right, so this trade got me 200, this trade got me 400, this trade got me 100, and I have this much to play with. So it's all a math problem. It kind of, for me, it kind of becomes a game, right? So how do I get $1,000 every single week from this account? Well, great. Now, if the account is 170, so how do I get 1,700 every week from this? So you see what I'm saying? So what I have, yeah, I'll bring, because I don't believe in selling anything at a loss, so that's not going to happen. So if I buy something, I'll continue rolling it over, and I'll show you exactly how I do it. So I roll it over to make sure I don't lose any money. That's my main objective, is not to lose anything. All right, anyway. Let's keep on going through the questions, and as soon as you guys run out of questions, I'm going to be out of here. So GE, I like it. Let's go back to trade. Yep, we already looked at that. But like I said, Philip, we missed the boat on this one. Here's your 30-day high, 30-day low. This is where we should have bought in, but I wasn't looking at it at that time.
Well, hold on, one more time. Where should you have bought it?
Right there.
Thank you.
2 days to the upside.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So if it was on my list, I would have, but remember, I only look at the companies just before they pay their dividend. So even though, yeah, it was ripe for the picking, it wasn't on my list at that moment in time. So I have a very strict regimen. You know, if it's not on the list, I'm not looking at it. All right. Cool Hand Luke. What we have here is a failure to communicate. All right, what's the best way to start investing for my kids? They're 6 and 7. What should I invest in? Education. The return on investment in education at this point in life, you just have no possible way how you can measure that. Seriously. Because if you bought this and sold it here, well, that's great. But how does that react? The butterfly effect, the movie, one tiny change can put your life on a whole different trajectory, which means, okay, you're in the harbor and you're taking your ship out to the, what do you call it, to the great beyond, and you have your compass set. Okay, one tiny little movement's going to put you in a whole different place. So it's just like in life. At 6 and 10, now I showed this to my daughter when she was 9. Okay, let me show you, because I don't know if you saw it earlier. Let's go on back down to memory lane. Why not? Memory. That's funny.
Hi, I'm Jake, and as you being part of my internet website, which my dad is like my phone that I do, being part of that, you're going to be getting weekly lists of stocks I'll be trading, and every month you'll be getting 4 lists of stocks that you can choose from.
This is my funniest part. I play that every day just to get a laugh at myself. But I did that like 15 years ago. Okay, in this picture, to be honest with you, she's 11, so we had been trading for a couple of years. All right, so she was getting pretty good at it. I think she was averaging around 5% a month, which is not bad for a 9-year-old. I have a lot of old videos, old advertisements with her in it back then. Anyway, let's get back to where we were. All right, so yeah, I do education. All right, interact with them. You know, make investing fun. Okay, with my daughter, it's like, you know, hey, you do this, this, and this. Well, X amount is going to go here, and you can do the rest with the rest. You know, so you got to make it an incentive, incentivize them, make them feel like it's important, because it is. All right, because the decisions you make now, what you do with your money, because what you have now is you have time on your hands. Okay, me, I'm past that point. I'm at the retirement age, golden years. It's kind of fun. Wait till you get here. It's a blast. It is. If you're ready for it. But as I was saying, I forget what I was saying. Sometimes I just go down a rabbit hole and I forget. Yeah, but just take your time, education, and make sure you interact with them and make it fun and all that kind of nice, neat stuff. You should be fine. The important thing is that you have the interest to want to do that. Wait a second, where was I? All right, Philip messaged me in Detroit. I'll help you with GE. Howdy, don't do that. Okay, GE, don't. All right. Philip, message me on TikTok. I'll help you with GE. Okay. What do we got? Bob. Hello, everyone from Detroit, Michigan. Woohoo! Detroit. Do the Detroit breakdown. Anybody interested in Pepsi? Oh, let's take a look. Pepsi, just in case you didn't know, Dividend King. Okay, they have increased their dividends for over 5 decades. That's nice. And they're over 100 years old. Why don't you have this in your repertoire? In your, what do you call it? On your watch list. Watch list? Basket of goodies? Okay, high of the year, 183. Bottom, 150. Okay, that's a, what, $30 spread between the bottom and the top? Okay, not bad. Currently, we're at 152. The 152s are going for 149, for 143 to 169. Okay, that's 1%. It's a little, it's right in that area. So let's take a look. A year ago, we were at 171. We topped off at 183 back in, May? Just recently, we have our bottom. Okay? 30-day top, 30-day bottom, slightly to the upside. Could be a good time to jump in, depending on, do you like Pepsi? Okay, do you like Pepsi, and do you like it at this price, and can you picture yourself owning this for the rest of your life, or until it hits the high to jump on out and get your little profit so you can move on and keep repeating the process? I don't see anything wrong with it. Pepsi, I like it. I buy it, great. I make my 1%, wonderful. If I can do it again next week, I'll do it. Okay, hit my target, I'm out, I jump into someone else. 1% every single week. It just keeps adding up and adding up and adding up. And it sounds like a lot of work, but it's not. Okay, 5 to 10 minutes every morning. It's kind of like adding a new repertoire to your morning ritual. Get up, brush your teeth, go to the bathroom, take a shower, all that kind of nice, neat stuff. Sit in front of the computer for 10 to 15 minutes. Honey, looks like we're going to Jamaica. Just take control of your own money. Because if you don't, you got to give it to someone else. And trust me, nobody else has more interest in your money than you. Or your ex's lawyer. Just kidding. No, seriously. All right, let's go. Keep on moving. Richie wants to take a look at Mickey D's. Wait a second. Yeah, Mickey D's. MCD. We will finish with Pepsi. Okay, we took a look at it. We came, we saw, we conquered. Richie. Cassandra. In what circumstances will you cancel or roll over a covered call? Zahid. It always comes down to a mathematical problem. Okay, and we usually don't get the problem or the information until right around 3 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Why? Well, because the options expire at 4 o'clock. Well, I have half hour. Well, I have until 4 o'clock on Friday to figure out what I want to do. So I jump on the computer somewhere around 2:30, find out a few unanswered questions. We have some questions we know the answers to, like, what did I buy the stock for? What option did I sell against it? Because every single one of my positions are always the exact same. I buy a stock, I sell a covered call against it to bring me in that 1%. All right, so that's all I do. All right, so it's simple. It's like, what did I buy it for? What strike price did I sell? What is the stock price at now? What is the option price at right now? And what if I do this? What's behind door number 1? Johnny, what's behind door number 1? Well, it's this, or this. Well, tell him what's behind door number 2. Well, it's this, or this. Okay, runner-up number 3, what do we got? Well, this, or this. So I can't give the answer to the question until I know at 3 o'clock or 3:30 or 3:20 on Friday afternoon the answers to those questions. That makes sense? Or, to quote the late John F. Kennedy, my fellow Americans, we cannot answer the questions of tomorrow with the knowledge we possess today. Okay? So I can't answer the question, what would I do in the circumstances, until Friday afternoon. Because we have some questions we already know. What did I buy it for? Great. What did I sell it for? The covered call. What did I receive? So those are the three answers you need right away. What did I buy the stock for? What strike price did I sell? And what is the current price right now? That's it. Okay? Once you find out those, okay, door number 1 is this. Door number 2 is this. Door number 3 is that. It's like color by numbers. We can't go to step number 2 until we do step number 1. And step number 1 is not given to us until 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Is what it is. You can't stop the clock. All right, so that will answer that question. Mickey D's. Okay, Mickey D's, here we are. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Look at it. It's going sideways for the past couple of months. Well, let's take a look. It's in a little bit of a downturn, so it's probably going to be a no, in my humble opinion. Now, Mickey D's is on my list. It has the last couple of months. Look, down, up, down. So she's coming off of a high right here. Okay, it goes up, and then it comes down. Well, it's in a downtrend. It's really not that difficult. Okay, if it's going down, well, leave it alone. Let it hit the bottom, then come back up. That's the time to jump in my humble opinion, because that's what I do. It makes it easier for me because once you know the odds and probabilities, well, you just stack them in your favor. Okay, here's one for you. 80% of all options expire worthless. So that information alone should fill in a puzzle piece to the question, right? Well, what's the question? How do I figure out what stocks are moving when? Well, if you know 80% of all options expire worthless, do you want to be a buyer of options or do you want to be a seller of options? Okay, so once you know that, well, 20% of the time I'm going to win. No, I don't want to be on that one. I want to be on the team where 80% of the time I'm going to win. Well, it's just a numbers game. Okay, so all options expire worthless eventually. Well, 80% of them. All right. So if the stock was here, comes down here, this is the bottom, you cannot argue. Seriously, you could if you want, but it's pointless. It's like the snowflake theory. There's only one high and there's only one low. Argue if you will not change my mind because you cannot have two highs and you cannot have two lows. You could have 2 days where it hit the exact same number. Yeah, but it's still one number. Okay? 30-day high, 30-day bottom. She bounces up, goes up. All right, so now what happens? She's going down. So I like it, don't get me wrong, but I want to wait for it to bounce and go back up again. See? Bottom, turns around, goes up. Bottom, turns around, goes up. Bottom, turns around, goes up. So if I like a stock, I'll look at it every day. If it shows me, yeah, it's going to go up in value, most of the time I do it just before the dividend date because the dividend date, stocks have a tendency to go up. And they only go up for 2 reasons, a known reason and an unknown reason. An unknown reason could be a natural disaster, hurricane, flood, tornado, storm, anything. A known reason can be something like earnings reports, dividends, holidays. Yes, holidays. Holidays affect the stock market. Okay, you got Christmas coming. We have Christmas coming up. Stocks go up. Certain stocks go up just before Christmas. Okay, and then you have spring. Certain stocks go up in the spring. It's called seasonality. If you know it happens every single year, well, why not take advantage of that situation? Then you come in for the trifecta. You ready? You find a trading strategy that is simple, safe, predictable, so you know what you're making every time you play the game. And don't kid yourself, this is a game. It's just an adult game where you have a lot riding. Okay? So it's just money, something that can easily be replaced. It's your time that can't. So at a certain point in your life, you're going to realize my time is more valuable to me than trading it for money. So that's where I am. I'm at that point where I don't feel like working anymore, and I don't have to. Right? But believe it or not, I'm still working, but I'm not getting paid for it. When you retire, you don't go to work to get paid. You go to work to help out your family and friends. So I'm at my mother's house, and when I'm done there, I'll be going to my kids' house and helping them with their houses. Don't get me wrong, I like it, I enjoy it. It gives me something to look forward to, but I'm still working, I'm just not getting paid. Anyway, I can't wait for you guys to get here too. Anyway, here we go. So Mickey D's, yeah, but we missed the boat. Okay, just a little bit late to the party. If you like something, okay, watch it every day. It's not that difficult. Okay, so if let's say hypothetically speaking, you got 5 positions. I get 5 positions in this account and 6 positions in another. Okay, so I try to keep it on 5 or 6 positions per account. Makes it easier that way. So 20% here, 20% here, 20%. So it's not, I'm not looking at dozens and dozens of companies. No. It's like, make you move good, thank you very much. Okay, 5, 6 positions. That's all I do every week. So it's not that difficult. You take a look at the chart. Okay, here's the high. Here's the high. Here's the low. Okay, it's in a downward pattern. Great. Well, I got it here. Let me see what I can sell. Bring in some money, and then go on to the next one. Simple, safe, predictable. It's the same. And it's boring as hell because you're doing the same thing week after week after week after week. Okay? But I'll tell you this. If 10, 15 minutes a day equals 1% of my assets in the stock market, that's an hour a week. An hour a week for me to get 1% of my little nest egg on a weekly basis. Yeah, I don't mind, but that's me. 10 to 15 minutes. I take a look. Okay, great. I like McDonald's. I like Exxon. I like Goldman Sachs. I like Ford, General Motors, IBM. I like these companies. And I'm not saying, you'll probably never, hardly ever, I can't say never, you'll hardly ever hear me say a company. It's like, oh yeah, I know who they are. Okay? Because the companies that I do, they've got to be at least, 20 years old. So if it's 20 years old, that's the bare minimum. Because you can't have 20 years of increased dividends without being 20 years old. It just doesn't make sense. All right, so the company's got to be at least 20 years old. And then you have some of them that I'm looking at that are 100 years old, 120 years old, 170 years old. Consolidated Edison is over 200 years old, and they still pay dividends. A portion of their profits going back to the investors. It just, I don't know, it just makes so much sense. It's kind of childish. It's kind of like one of those childish rhymes, It's like, 3 little pigs, that type of thing. But it's actually that simple. Okay, if the company's profitable, great, it's on my list. When do they have their dividend? Because just before the dividend, stock goes up. Great. So I know that. So if I know the stock's going to go up at a certain time and this strategy is consistent and predictable, great, awesome. So now I buy the stock, I sell the option. Anyway, it was enlightening when I saw it. What are we looking at? Oh, next one on the list. Let's keep it going. It's very great for safety. Howdy, yes it is. Peace, Bob, peace. What do you think about iOS 20022? Is it a yes or is it a no? XRP, no. XLM, no. ADA, no. Have you heard about JA? No. HNY. What is HNY? Okay, say, Bob, I don't do cryptocurrency at all. Now, I know XRP is cryptocurrency. I don't do it. Until they can figure a way for me to simply, safely, and predictably get 1% every single week without having to sit in front of my computer watching for patterns. Okay, now I say patterns here, but this is end-of-day data. Okay, this is the high of the day. So I'm looking at what happened yesterday. Great, what do I expect today? I'm not sitting there watching it. I'm just saying, okay, what happened yesterday? Oh, that's what happened? All right, what do I do? Okay, I don't want to spend, a huge amount of my time on my finances. No, it's not that difficult. And the reason why I can say it's not that difficult, because I created it for my 9-year-old daughter, okay? Oh. All right, so anyway, let's move on. HNY. What is HNY? HNY. Horizon. No options. Dude, okay? Current instrument has no options. No, I can't do weekly on something that doesn't have any options. All right. Bob, ISO. What the heck is ISO? ISO. ISO Lexus shares? No options on that one either. ARB. If I had $100,000, can I use this strategy to make a net income of $24,000 in a foreign country? I don't know what the foreign rules are, but $24,000 off of $100,000, that's only 2% a month, or 0.5% a week. 0.5%, that's easy. You can do that almost blindfolded, hypothetically speaking. Okay? But yeah, you probably could. But I don't know anything about foreign countries' tax laws, trading in a different entity. But I do know you could get a VPN, virtual private network, and sign into anywhere. You can be in up in the up in the, what do you call it? Well, let's say up in the Gulag, Russia area, way up there, and you can sign in the internet in Toledo. You can be down in Tahiti inside in through Boston. So that's what the VPN's good for. I don't know how much paperwork you're going to have to do in order to be able to pull that off. Okay, to be totally honest with you, that's not one of my areas of expertise. All right, but I do know that resident aliens don't have to pay any taxes whatsoever. Maybe you could register your account under a resident alien account. I don't know. I honestly don't know that kind of information. Philip, you're learning. Cool beans. Bob, I use Kraken. Are you familiar? No, Bob, I'm not. Hey, Bob, I only do dividend stocks that are at least 20 years or older. All right? U.S. only dividend stocks. I have no idea what Kraken is. I know what the Kraken is, but I have, in the context in which you're using, I don't understand. Emin, dividend aristocrats only. Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you there, Emin, because I like the dividend kings. Because the aristocrats is only 25 years of increased dividends. Okay? The dividend kings is 50 years. But then again, you also have the dividend champions, 25 years of increased dividends. So I don't know why, because there's not that very many on the dividend aristocrats. I think there's only like 67. Okay, Sean Bridges. No, I tried Robinhood and they considered me a day trader and flagged me. Yeah, they will, but what I'm showing has nothing to do with day trading. Okay? So if you buy the stock, it's called a covered call. And I do have a Robinhood account. And yeah, I have several accounts that are under the day trading limit, because the day trading limit is 25,000 or more. Yeah, I get that part. Okay, and yeah, they will flag you if you do more day trades if you're under 25,000. Confused. They're trying to control you. What is it, basically? Okay, but a covered call, you only do it once a week, Monday, and then you don't do anything else. So I don't know what it is that you would have done to make it be flagged. But then again, I don't know anything about you, and I don't know what it is you're trying to accomplish. Okay, so here, the trading strategy I'm showing is buying the stock on a Monday, selling the covered call, and then hoping it expires on Friday. It's nothing to do with day trading whatsoever. So if you're doing the strategy that I'm teaching or I'm showing you, okay, there's no reason whatsoever for you to get flagged. Okay, XLM. Bob, XLM. What the heck is that? XLM. No. That's weird, isn't it? I put it in and nothing comes up. That's weird. That means it must not be a dividend stock. ADA. No options. Bob, you're batting 1,000 here, dude. Okay? No options, no thank you, no dividends, no thank you. It's all pretty simple. MYND. MYND. Mind. Interesting. Okay. Next. What are your top dividend tickers? Oh, that's easy. That's Walgreens, Macy's, Nordstrom's, and Kohl's. Hola, James. What do you think about CCI, Carnival Cruise Lines? CCL. Or is that CCI? Well, CCL. Is there a CCI? I don't know. CCI. Crown. Okay. CCI is a no. So CCL. Carnival Cruise Lines. John, how are you doing today, Bond? What are you teaching here? Hey, All-Around. All-Around, I'm teaching dividend investing for weekly cash flow using dividend stocks just before the EX date, which is the last day the stock trades before the dividends paid out. Then I'm using it in a option strategy called a covered call. We buy the stock, sell the option against it, and collect a 1% premium on a weekly basis. 1% on a weekly basis is over 50 cents per year. How was that? That's me, what's I'm teaching here. All right. Anyway, he asked what I was teaching here. Okay, anyway, let's keep on going. So Carnival Cruise Line, here's the top right here. Was that 27 and a quarter? The bottom's way down here at 1350, looks like. So 1350 to 27, that's 100% increase. So if you bought this back in August, on the 13th or the 14th, and she jumped up to 27, nice. I don't know who did that, but if you did, okay, but that's here and there, that's where we were. Where are we now? So where we are now, the last 30 days. Now the reason why I like the last 30 days, because it gives me an idea of what we, the people, are thinking. Okay? We're thinking it's too high here, and we're thinking it's too low here. Simple. Last 30 days. 30 days ago, we were at 26.10. We jump up to 27, drop down to, 24.60, back up to 27. Here's our 30-day high, 30-day bottom. What usually happens after the bottom? Usually. Okay, high, low, and it bounces up. Well, great. We got one day of the upside already, Tuesday. So what's going to happen on Thursday? So tomorrow, if this thing jumps up, well, that's a great place, in my opinion. You guys got to figure out what's right for you. This is what, for me, okay? For me, I like the bottom, and then I like 2 days to the upside before I jump in. But that's how I tell where the bottom is. That's the bottom for me. You guys got to find out what's right for you, okay? So, right now, 25. The 25 is going for 54. I'm going to write this one down because it says 2%. I like it. Joseph, how are you? Thanks, James. Do you ever consider the EX dates for those stocks coming up in the current week? If so, in what way? Joseph, I try to stay away from them. I jump in 2 weeks before the EX date. I want to give it a 2 weeks time for it to make the move so that I can get my 1% and then get out before it goes to the dividend date. Because after the dividend date, the stock has a tendency to go down, and I don't want to be there. I'm just looking for the 1%. Jump in, jump out. Thank you for the ride. Let me catch the next train. That type of deal. I don't buy anything to hold on to it. And I only like certain companies. Carnival Cruise Line, well, all the numbers work. Okay? I'll be picking up 2% if the numbers are the same. Now, tomorrow morning, when the market opens, all these numbers are going to change. But the math is still the same. Here's the purchase price. Here's the strike price. Here's the premium. Okay, is it 1%? Is it 2%? Is it 3%? What is the percentage? Okay, when I invest, I'm paying $25.08. Great. I'll sell to someone else at 25, pick up 54 cents, and I'll make a quick 1 or 2%. That's all I'm looking for. The stock doesn't have to do almost nothing, but either stay where it is or go up. Now, stocks only go 3 directions. So if I'm taking 2 out of 3, all right, so if I'm taking stay exactly where you are and I'm good, or go up a little bit and I'm great, whichever one. So if it goes down, well, then I go back to rule number 1. Never buy something you're not okay with holding on to, because it is going to go down on you. That's all they do. Take a look. They go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. They go up, they go down. That's all they do. They do not come to your house and take the dog for a walk. Hell, I was waiting for it to come today to take out the trash. It never showed up. Stocks don't do anything but go up and go down. Just make sure you jump on the choo-choo at the right time. Merry-go-round, escalator, whatever analogy you want to use. Okay, stocks go up, 30-day high, 30-day bottom. What do you think usually happens? That's a decision only you can make. Do you like the company? Do you like the company at this price? And are you willing to hold on to it for however long it takes to hit your target? But while you're waiting, why not sell some covered calls against it, pick up some spare change here and there? Spare change. Okay, once you jump in, yeah, you can get 1 or 2% first. Next week, if she starts going down, okay, you might get 1%. You might not. You might get 0.5%. But here's the thing. As long as you hold on to the stock, the price you got in at will never change. But what does change is where it is on the chart. So as it goes down, yeah, you got to lower your strike prices. Go further away from the action, but still bring in something. Okay, you don't go to the grocery store and come up with nothing because you ran out of money. Okay, no, you go there. So instead of collecting 33, you collect 18. Oh, boo-hoo, you're only collecting 0.5%. 0.5% every week is 26% per year. I feel bad for you. Think about it. Okay, it's your money. You get to decide where the best place for it is. So if you like Carnival Cruise Lines, if the numbers all make sense to you, then that choice is yours. All right, anyway, I like Carnival Cruise Line. I think I'm going to write it down. All right, what else you guys got for me? That was a good one. Okay, I can't give you a congratulations because you didn't give me a name. 53707904, whatever. Hey, Jonathan, if a company pays a dividend on a Friday and the stock is called away Saturday, I'm the one entitled to the dividend. Okay, Jonathan, the way it works is whoever owns the stock on the date of record is entitled to the dividend. Oops. Uh-oh, I hit a wrong button over here. I hate when that happens. Hit the wrong button. I just shut off Facebook. Sorry. All right, anyway. Okay, so Jonathan, whoever owns the stock on the date of record, there's 4 dates you got to remember. The announcement dates, that's when the company says, hey, this is Joe from IBM, this is how much we made, this is how much you're getting, okay? That's the announcement date. Date number 2, the EX dividend date, the last day the stock trades before the dividend's paid out. Date number 3, the date of record. Whoever owns the stock on the date of record is entitled to the dividend. Okay? And the 4th date is payment date. Alrighty, Bob, I'm sorry if I'm repetitive, but can you search up H-bar or Stella or ISO for complete listings? H-bar. Okay, what the heck is H-bar? H-B-A-R. Definitely on the wrong communication here, dude, because I have no idea what you're talking about. I just put in H-bar, doesn't exist. Okay, so Stella, I don't know that one. I work for them. Okay, apparently we're having a little bit of a miscommunication because the stuff you're telling me to look up is coming up empty. Mortgage Magician, what happens when you sell the GE call and it drops $20? You aren't getting 1% anymore. Mortgage Magician, okay. GE. Okay, are you saying drops $20 or drops to $20? Okay, so here's the thing. When you buy your stock, I'll give you a better example. Because it all depends on interpretation, okay? The language is the same, but how you're arranging the words could mean something totally different. All right, so what's the purpose of, what was it? So what happens when you sell a GE call and it drops $20? Okay, so here we go. You ready? So if I buy it at $168.50, right, I'm entitled to however many shares I get in the dividend payments, correct? So if I bought it at $195, am I still entitled to those dividends? Yes, I am. So it doesn't really matter what price I bought the stock at. Okay, in the eyes of the company, I'm entitled to a share of the profits. Okay, that's the dividends. So no matter where I jumped in, if I jumped in at 100 back last December, okay, I'm still entitled to the same amount of dividends as everyone else. So if I own 100 shares, great, that's what I get. If I own 1,000 shares, great, that's what I get. So back to the number. If I buy it at 168 and it drops to 148, Well, let's take a look at what that could mean. Let's get rid of that one, and let's expand this to all. Okay. So currently, the 168 is going for 233, which is over 1.5%. Great. So you jump in, you get 1.5%. Now the stock drops $20. So now we're down to 148, which would be in the equivalent going $20 in the opposite direction. So 20 strikes out from 167 would be 197, which would be this one right here. Okay, which would have absolutely no value whatsoever, being that far away. So here's where the money is. That's at the money. Okay, and you're way out of the money because you bought it way up here. Okay, or, and the stock drops. So your premium is way down here and it's worth nothing. Well, great. I'm going to move it up and take the risk of losing, because if I drop it down 4 strike prices, well, now I'm bringing in 40 cents a share. Well, 40 cents a share on a 160, that's a 25%. Now, 25% a week is still 12% a year. Well, that's not bad. Okay? That's worst case scenario if it drops. But here's the thing. If it drops, I'm going to drop my strike price, because I don't want to be too close to where the risks are. I want to be further out, right between a balancing point where there's some risk, because risk-reward ratio, because you can't do anything risk-free in the world, because if you do something, you have a risk. If you don't do it, well, there's another risk there, just a different equivalence. All depends on how you look at it. So if I'm buying it X price and it drops $20 in value, well, remember, first week I got 1.5%. Next week, well, I'm down 20 points. Well, I'm not going to sell this one because it has no value to it. So I will sell 4 or 5 strikes out. So if I go 5 strikes out of the money, it's 40 cents, 25% per year, 25% per week. Okay? But 2 strikes out, well, I'm just about 80%, or 0.8. Not 1%, but 0.8. That's pretty close. So the closer you go to where the action is, which is at the money, that's the higher rate of return. But with the higher rate of return also comes the higher rate of risk, or less risk, whichever way you look at it, because it all depends. Am I staying on? See, the funny thing is, the chart is on my right. No, it's not. It's on my left. It's the exact same thing, but a different perspective, because here it is on my right. But when I turn around, it's on my left. So it's all in your perspective. Are you making money consistently coming in? Are you better off knowing the information you know now? Because a lot of people don't know that you can buy a good stock and sell a weekly option every single week and bring in a weekly cash flow from the assets you already own. A lot of people don't know that. I'm just giving out information. It's already out there. It's free. So take advantage of it. All right, so anyway, that's what I'm looking for to make sure. Rule number 1. So hopefully, Morgan Magician, hopefully this answers your question. Rule number 1, never buy something you don't understand. So if you buy a stock, General Electric, you understand that there is a high of the year, that there is a low of the year. And there is a difference between the high and the low, and the stock can go that much either direction. Okay, it can go past the high of the year. It can go past the low of the year. You've got to understand the game before you decide to play. Rule number 1, never buy something you don't understand. If you don't like General Electric, if you don't like the distance between the high and the low and the fact that it could drop that much or increase that much, risk reward. Your risk, well, you're putting your money up in a company that's over 100 years old and consistently increases their profits. Well, that's your risk. But they've been doing it for more than 100 years. Okay? So that makes me feel a little bit better about the risk. The company's over 100 years old. I like to think, think about it. There are probably other companies that are younger that are probably better, but are they ready to weather the storm? General Electric has seen World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the embargo in the 70s, the stock market crash in 87, the crash in 2000, Y2. They've seen all this shit that's happened in the last 100 years. And you think it's not a good place to put your money because you think they might go out of business? I don't see a risk in General Electric. They've been around for 100 years. Yeah, the numbers all work. If I buy it at the current price, sell somebody the right to buy it for the exact same price I just paid for it, and I can get 1% every single week, every single week. Well, there's 52 weeks in a year. But wait a second. After that, today is proof positive that when 2024 is done and over with, we get to do it again. So tomorrow is the first day of 2025, and we start at ground zero. So when you see my profit and loss year to date, you're going to see goose eggs. Why? Well, because tomorrow is the first day of the year. They shut everything down and they go back to zero. So my average percentage for the year starting today, 0. All right. So we'll find that one out tomorrow. Anyway, General Electric. Here we go. Last 30 days. Is this like the third or fourth company we've seen tonight where we missed the boat? Wait a minute. We already looked at this one. AVGO. What do I think of AVGO? What's going on? Dano Dadon. All right, whatever. Oh my goodness. New here and already spewing out garbage. Dude, have you even looked at the numbers for Maine? Seriously. Okay, now AVGO, we do that every week. Let's go pick on Dano here for a minute in Maine because I'm just loving a naysayer first thing of the year. Well, let's take it out. MAIN. Why don't I like MAIN? MAIN. Oh, it's a monthly. Do you know what that means? That means I can only trade it once a month. And if I'm averaging 1 or 2% every option trade I make, if I can only do it once a month, it means I can only do it 12 times. 12 times, that only comes to 12 to 24% a year. But wait, it gets worse. It does, really. Take a look at this. All right. 30 days, 7th to the 7th. There we go. Now, great, wonderful. Here's where it is, 51.50. Now tell me where's it going to be in 4 weeks. Okay, 4 weeks ago, we're at 50. Jumps up to 52.25, drops down to 49.25. Now it's up to 51.75. Great. Tell me where it's going to be in 4 weeks. I can do a pretty good job on saying where it's going to be in 5 days. Okay, 5 days, that part's easy. 4 weeks, that's 30 days. Is that 30 days? Yeah, that's about 30 days. No, that's 20 days because it's only 5 days in a week. Trading weeks, 5 days a week. Okay, so where's it going to be? 5 days is easy. 30 days isn't. Because the option expires once a month, which means I can only do it once a month. Am I going to make enough doing it once a month to satisfy my financial needs? No. That's why I do weeklies. Once a month, 1%. That's 50% a year. 1% once a month, that's 12% a year. Why would I take 12% a year when I could have 50%? I don't like monthlies. And the reason I don't like monthlies, because the numbers don't work and it's a little bit more difficult. You'd think it would be easier because you only have to do it once. Well, yeah, it is easy because you only have to do it once. But you're getting 1/4 of what you should be getting. And then trying to figure out where it's going to be, that's not that easy. Anyway, I don't do monthlies because the numbers just don't work. Okay, Dano? Oh, Tizcar, ELEK is a ticker symbol. Going to 10, and they got goods. Really? Tizcar. I never heard of you before. But ELEK. ELEK. I'm kind of curious. Thought so. I don't do those. Just not worth my time. All right. Anyway. All right, ARB, we already answered that question. If you had 100 grand, could you live off 24 grand? Yeah, you could. Well, you should. Johnny Bravo said everything's good to hell. I don't remember having Johnny saying that. All right. Thank you, WW. Vivid Dreamer, do you think we're going into recession or depression? Dude, seriously. Okay, Vivid Dreamer, yes, we are. And no, we're not. Because think of it this way.
Stop being depressed.
Every 10 years, take a look. Take a look at the economy from the late 1800s to currently where we are. Take a look at the stock market charts. Take a look. Every 10 years, there's a recession. There's a pullback. There's a crash. There's whatever you want to call it. Every decade. Every one. So yeah, stock market goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. But look at the overall movement from the late 1800s to where we are now. Consistent 8 to 10% every single year after year after year after year. Okay? All depends on how you look at it. But here's the thing. Here's my opinion on this one, okay? This is just shooting off the dart. If you think there's going to be a recession, you're going to help create it. Okay? If you think there's going to be wonderful and what do you call it, prosperous times, you're going to be part of it, so you're going to help create it. Whatever you focus your energy on, that's what's going to grow. If you keep asking people a recession, you put that little seed in their mind, it germinates, it grows. All depends on what you want to focus on. You want to focus on abundance, and abundance will come your way. You want to focus on recession, recession is going to come your way. Okay, your attention goes to wherever you point it. It's kind of weird. You know, you can only see what you're looking at. So if you're looking at all happy, wonderful, lovely things, yeah, well, eventually that's where you're going to go. And if you're looking at, oh, what the hell is going to go wrong? Well, you're going to look in the direction where everything goes wrong. It's weird how it works. As a man thinketh, so is he. It's in the Bible somewhere. Or you think what you become. Wait a minute, a man becomes what he thinks of all day long. That was that Socrates or Aristotle, one of those guys. A man becomes what he thinks about all day long. So you want to be in a recession, you want to be in depression, great. Keep thinking about it. You'll get there. You want to be in abundance, you want to look for opportunities, well, they will be there also. What's up, buddy? Ooh, El Pablo, ¿qué pasa, amigo? ¿Cómo está? I want you to take a look at... What one was that? I was just looking at it. It was just there. Company goes down, goes up. All right, what? All right, right there. All right, we did that one, did that one, did that one, did that one. Coals, there you go. El Pablo wants to take a look at coals. Now, I do have some coals. The Kohl's is one of those companies that just keep bringing money in every single week. It just keeps coming in week after week after week after week. You know, the stock price is down from where I bought it, but it keeps bringing. It's kind of like you buy a chicken, and every day it lays you an egg. It's like, okay, well, you already paid for yourself. Why you keep giving me more eggs? Well, it's just one of those things. All right, anyway, Kohl's, here we go. The high of the year, which was that 29 back in April, and recently has a new bottom right there. Recently. So here's a question. Do you think Kohl's has what it takes to hang on? Because apparently they're at the low of the year. Is it the bottom? Are they turning around going back up? Or is there more left in the cellar? I don't know. Are they going to open the cellar door and keep going through? That's a funny analogy. I got to remember that one. All right. So the high of the year is 29.60. Look at the last 90 days. Okay, 90-day high, 90-day bottom. That was on Friday. Okay, she went up, she went down, she went up, she went down. Now she's going sideways. Is this the bottom? Don't know. Well, let's take a closer look. Closer look would be the last 30 days. And look, it looks totally different, doesn't it? Okay, 30 days ago, we're at 1540. We jumped up almost to 16, drop all the way down here, do a U-turn, and then drop back down. Well, now we have a new bottom right here. And Tuesday was 1 day to the upside. I like 2 days to the upside. So this could be a new entry point. Could be. If you like Kohl's. More importantly, if you like Kohl's at this current price. Simple as that. Do I like Kohl's? Do I like Kohl's at this price? Well, if I buy it $14.01 tomorrow morning, and then I sell somebody the rights to buy it from me at 14, 1 penny less than what I paid for it, I'm going to pick up 22 cents. Wait, no. 28. Where is it? Right here. There's the 14. It's 28. That's almost 2%. Now, we talked about this. 2% a week is over 100% a year. That means you could double your money every year if you can find a trade like this every week. Now, I'm not saying you should put all your money into it. No. What I'm saying is, make smart choices. Like I do 20%. 20%. So if it's a $100,000 account, it's 20,000. If it's $10,000 account, it's 2,000. Divide it up evenly. Spread out your risk. But if you go to invest in the American economy, make sure you invest in the American economy on the right pony. Okay? Do you like coals? That's a very important question. Do you understand everything about coals to make a good decision about buying it or not? Because ultimately, it's all your choice. You have to decide, do I like this company? Okay? Do I think this is a good place to put my hard-earned dollars? If it is, great. Well, it's at 14.01. If I buy it tomorrow morning, 14.01, sell the 14s, I'm picking up 2%. Tiny bit below 2%, but still 2%. I'm all for that. Now, I already own coal, so I'm not buying any more because I have more than I should have. Anyway, let's keep on going. Where can I find a weekly options list? KC Royals. Oh, my favorite tennis team. Sorry. CBOE.com. CBOE.com. That's the Chicago Board of Options Exchange.com. They actually give you a list of all the weekly options that they have available and who does them. All right. Good to see you, Matthew. How are you today? Old dog's in the house. HHH. What the heck is HHH?
The wrestler?
Howard Hughes Holdings. They still have that? Holy cow. All right. It's a monthly. It's a no. Don't even want to go into that. Club Med Tom. How are you today? All right. Club Med Tom. James, if on Fridays the stock price changes last minute before the closing and you can't roll. Well, here's the thing. We jump on at between 2 and 2:30 on Friday just to make sure. No, I've done it before. Believe it or not, really, I have. Watched the last 2 or 3 minutes tick away, okay, on the end of a Friday. I've done that many times. You got to do it at least once or twice. Put something on the line and just watch it and just see at the last minute what does it do. Can you get that trade in there just in the nick of time? It's kind of exciting. It's kind of fun. But, yeah, I try not to do that, Make up your mind in the afternoon. Okay, because what they say is you got to shit or get off the pot eventually. All right, it's just all there is to it. Options expire, 4 p.m. Friday afternoon. So I would like to say I had solid proof in the court system, but I don't. But they have what's called the statute of limitations, means it starts at some point and it ends at one point. Okay, so if you don't make up your mind what to do with your option on a Friday afternoon before 4 p.m., then you deserve to lose your money. Okay, you know what the rules of the game are. Okay, the start is when you buy it. You have no choice on the expiration. It expires on Saturday afternoon, but you can't do anything about it at past 4 p.m. on Friday. So literally, you can't do anything past 4 p.m. on Friday. So shit or get off the pot. Okay? Once you figure that out, do the move. Make sure you do it in enough time. Because if you don't, you pay the consequences. For every action, it's an equal and opposite reaction. We all know this. You buy something, you got to sell it. You sell something, you got to buy it. Okay? It's not that difficult of a strategy. Adults have a tendency to make it more complicated than it really needs to be. All right, Zahid, thank you. You're welcome. Jason, Tesla is going to crash tomorrow. Cool beans. Don't know, don't care. Okay, I only do stocks that have dividends. Tesla may be the greatest company in the world. It may. Okay, but it's not on my list. And as weird as that may sound, if it's not on my list, then I try not to do it. Okay, Tesla has no dividends. There's no way for me to know when the stock is going to move predictably, which means I would have to look at it every day And I don't want to do that, especially when there are other companies that are predictable. Okay? So, am I willing to get just 1% a week with something boring, something slow, something monotonous? Vivid Dreamer, yeah, easy money. Simple, slow, monotonous, boring as hell? I'm okay with that. Because okay with that for me equals 50% per year. Okay? Now, do I have a securities license? Now, I'm assuming you're asking me, did I pay somebody money for them to tell me I know what I'm doing? Is that what you're asking me? Because it sounds kind of silly. Hello, thoughts on IRRM? Oh my goodness, what is that? And it's never a good sign. Pittsburgh, never a good sign if I have to say, what is that? Oh, it's a REIT, and it's a monthly. Now, if it was a weekly REIT, because I do have a couple of REITs in my portfolio because the numbers are just wonderfully predictable. Because with a REIT, they're required by law to pay out 90% of all the profits every single month. So that's great. But not if it's a monthly. Numbers just don't work for me. Sorry. WW, if the company goes up 1%, does the contract goes up 1% or more? Ooh, WW, that is an interesting question. Not very many people ask a question like that. So let me quickly show you something that's called, this is going to get complicated, all right? It's just so that now, I'm not going to do this just to brag that I know what's happening, I know all this stuff. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just telling you. It gets complicated, and you don't really need to know the information, okay? When you buy a stock, whatever price you buy it for, and then you sell the option, which gives somebody the right to buy it from you at a certain price, and it's more than 1%, well, that's a simplistic way of looking at it. That's simple. That's easy. You really want to know how it gets there? It gets confusing, and when people get confused, they have a tendency to say, no, that's a little bit too much. No, thank you. Because when it comes to these things right here, option prices, and what makes them go up or down, the mathematical problem for that is freaking huge. It's called the Black-Scholes standardized pricing method. Pricing method for standardized options. It's a huge freaking mathematical equation to tell you how to price the options as compared to where they are now and where they're going to be tomorrow and where they're going to be the next day. A lot of factors in there, stock price, time value, implied volatility. Believe it or not, interest rates are in that equation. Don't ask me why, but they're there. There's a lot of things but the major things that makes up the value of an option is the stock price, the current stock price. Okay, doesn't matter where you jumped in on the pony. Okay, whatever the stock price is, that affects the option price. What else? Well, how many people like it? That's called volume. Okay, that is right there. Well, that's stock volume. If I want to look at option volume, because right here is the deltas. Okay, you got delta, gamma, theta, vega. Yeah, they can be a bit confusing. Do you seriously really want to know? How about we just go the long and short of it? If the stock goes up, the option goes up. If the stock goes down, the option goes down. As the day, here's a good one for you. As the sand goes through the hourglass, so does the price option of our... No. As the time ticks away, the value gets lower and lower and lower because on a weekly option, you only have a certain amount of time. So I jump in on a Monday because there's only 5 days in a week. Monday's the beginning and Friday's the end, okay? So you can buy an option 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks out to give you more value, but you only live 1 week at a time, so it's weekly. So on a Monday, I have 100% of the week's time value. So this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I have 100% of the time value. As the day goes by, okay, now we're on Tuesday. There's only 80% of time value left. And then Wednesday, there's only 60% of time value left. Well, you just lost 40% because you waited. This is why I do all my trading on a Monday, because I get the higher value to my dollar on the time value, okay? Because time is only one portion of the option price. What else? Well, you have the current price, all right? And then you have what's called the implied volatility. And then you have open interest and how many contracts are out there. Now that would be right here, okay? Volume and open interest, okay? How many volumes, which means how many contracts are out there. Well, there's 1,100 of these. And there's 1,100 of those, okay? So how do we have an idea of how the option increases and decreases? It's a huge can of worms you really don't need to know the answer to. Seriously. Because the amount of information I just gave you said, hey, the stock goes up, option goes up. Stock goes down, option goes down. As the time ticks away, a portion of the option value decreases. If you really want to know, Black-Scholes pricing method of standardized stock options, that's the name of it. It's a huge mathematical equation, and you'll be a lot dumber after reviewing it. It's not like, oh, you'll be a lot smarter after reviewing it. No, you're just going to be congested in the head saying, well, I don't really need to know that. If the stock goes up, the option price goes up. What we're doing here, simple, safe, predictable, and consistent, just looking for the 1%. Well, great. If I buy it here and I sell it here, well, I'm getting my 1%. That's what I'm looking for. I really don't care about the 1%. I know it sounds childish, whatever you want to call it. But if it's a good company, okay, AT&T, I know who they are. They've been in business for 100 years. Okay, I have some trust in them because they have been successful for so long. Yeah, everybody has bumps in the road. I don't pay attention to those. What I pay attention to, are they consistently profitable? Do they have weekly options? Great, that's what I'm interested in. Next, where are they going? Okay, here's the bottom over here. She went up, she went down, she went up, she went down. She shot way up her hair. Now she's coming down. Well, you have all this profit right here. Okay, people who bought down here, well, they're going to want to take their profits. So no, I'm not going to buy this one because it looks as if it's almost harvest time. I like that analogy because I grew up, up in New England, and in New England we'd have harvest season. Okay, and it was, the harvest moon. It was literally a thing. All right, so here's all the profits waiting to be harvested. That's for the year chart. As we break it down, it doesn't look as glamorous. Okay, this is the 90-day. Look, here's the high, here's the low. Okay, there's not as much profit here needing to be harvested. Okay, so let's go into the 30-day. Because we don't live our lives 1 year at a time. No, we live our lives 1 day at a time. And then 1 week at a time. So if I know what we did yesterday, okay, if I know what we did yesterday and the day before and the day before, well, now I have some kind of idea of what we probably will do tomorrow and the next day. All right, so here's your 30 days ago, 30-day high. 30-day bottom, 2 weeks ago. She shot up, pulled back down. Here's bottom here. We have 1 day to the upside. Now, me personally, I like 2 days to the upside before I jump in. So I have a few things going in my favor. Number one, General Electric. The name recognition alone, you can't buy that stuff. That takes decades to earn. Okay, General Electric, I know who they are. Okay, they've been in business for a while. I have faith in the company. Great. What am I buying it at? $22.90. Okay. What can I sell it for? 23 is going for 13 cents to 15 cents. As much as I love the company, that number doesn't work for me. Okay. Now I like Kohl's and I like General Electric. Kohl's will give me 2%. General Electric will only give me 0.5%. It's really not that difficult of a choice. Anyway, let's keep on going. Austin, what's up? Happy New Year to you too. Julie C., how are you today? Marathon. Ooh, I like Marathon, and it's on my list this week. Imagine that. Not anymore, it ain't. Take a look. Okay, 30-day high, 30-day low, waiting to find that bottom. Think about it. Okay, number one, it's on my list. Okay, don't really know how it got there. I think one of the investors in my morning trading group introduced it, and he said, hey, okay, it's consistent. Let's do it. Why not? So, 30-day high, 30-day bottom. So, I am going to look at it tomorrow. I'm going to look at it the next day and the next day and the next day because she's searching for the bottom. She's bottom fishing. And as soon as she finds that bottom, she'll turn and go up. Because what do stocks do? They go down. And when they're done going down, then they go up. So, it takes not even 2 or 3 seconds. Where is Marathon right now? Well, it's down again. Great. It's pretty easy. Tomorrow, it's going to be up or it's not. It's actually that simple. So tomorrow, if she's up, great. Then I'll look at it the next day because I went for 2 days to the upside. And I like Marathon. Look at the premiums. Right now at $16.76, the 17 is going for 85 cents. That's over 4% for 1 week. But as enticing as that number is, I ain't doing it because we haven't found the bottom yet. So that's buying something on the way down. No. I want it to hit bottom and then go back up again. So I will look at it again tomorrow and then the next day and the next day. Bill Kardashian, how are you today? Yeah, I'm still in St. Pete. Happy New Year. Yay, ADM. Archer Daniel Midland. Ooh, Lindarella. That's a nice one. ADM. Archer Daniel Midland. Righty then. Take a look. The high is way up over here, 74. And then she drops, retraces, and finds the bottom in November. So let's take a look at that last 90 days. All right, here's your last 90 days. Okay, 90 days ago, way up here. Drops, retraces, drops again. Here's the bottom's way over there. But as soon as we jump into the 30-day period, everything changes. Take a look. Okay, everything literally changes. Here's the high, here's the low. She jumped up. She just seems to be going sideways at the moment. So she's kind of in a channel. But look where the high is. Look where the low is. What usually happens? It goes up. Usually. So it's not that difficult. Just take a good look at it. Is it something you like? Is it something you don't like? I would wait another day or two, me personally, to find another, tick to the upside. Because I don't like down ticks. Because it tells me, hey, we're rethinking this. Well, if I'm rethinking it, I don't want to rethink along with them. I don't want to be the only one on that trail. Amy, how do you start? Well, Amy, simple. DM me, send me a number, I'll give you a buzz, or you can go right to the website and sign up if you want. I'm not trying to sell anything here, but if you want to follow along, it's $100 a month, and you just, you sign up on Patreon, get a link every morning, and you actually get to watch all the trades that I do, and you get to ask me whatever questions you want, live. So, you can ask whatever questions you want. All right, anyway, let's keep on moving. ADM, I love ADM. Currently it's at 51, and the 51, okay, 50.95, well, the closest strike price will be 51, and it's going for 45 to 60, which is right around 1%. So I like 1%. And Archer Daniel Midland, yeah, they're a dividend king. Pretty sure they're a dividend king. All right. Let's keep on moving. All right. NIO. Zachary wants to take a look at NIO. N-I-O. Now, I'm pretty sure we checked NIO before, and I'm not 100% sure they actually pay dividends. No, they don't. Nope. There are no dividends in the selected time frame. So NIO is going to be a no. Sorry. Oh. Scott says Carnival Cruise Line doesn't pay dividends. Okay. CCL. And he's right. Carnival Cruise Line does not pay any dividends. So that would definitely... Wait a minute, I didn't say it was on my... Did I say it was on my list? I don't know. I'll have to rewind it and watch it again. But if I said it's on my list, I apologize for that. But, Twisted Philly wants to take a look at U.S. Steel. Yeah, you want to know what I'm going to do now that the stock jumped. Don't ya? Okay, hold on. I'm going to give you the full rundown. Let's see. All right, here. It's right there. Okay, so Twisted Philly wants to see U.S. Steel. I don't blame you. I mean, that was a good move it made on Friday. Yesterday. Tuesday. What was that? No, today. Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's yeah. Okay, today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's, yes, sorry. One of the tragedies of being retired, you don't have to punch a time clock. But it's kind of weird because I do trading every day, and it only happens on the weekdays. So why don't I know? I don't know. Anyway, go figure. All right. So currently, U.S. Steel, the high of the year, 48.80. The bottom of the year was at the beginning of September, 26.91. So we know the parameters. There's the high, there's the low. Last 90 days. Here we go. Last 90 days. Here's your high right here, 43. Your bottom, just around 29. That was a couple of weeks ago. But look at the movement the last 90 days. Up and then down. Pretty simple. So let's go to the last 30 days, because the 30 days gives us a better idea of where do we think it's going to go next week. Now, I've had it for almost a month, but wait until you can see what I collected for 1 month. It's kind of crazy. Because does it usually happen that way? No, it doesn't usually. Every year, I think 2 or 3 companies will do this, and I'm going to show you in a minute. Last 30 days. It's 30 days, right there. Okay. U.S. Steel, 30 days ago, 42. Drops, goes sideways, drops again. Here's the bottom right here. Week, 2 weeks ago, Friday. Right there's the bottom. Up a little bit, comes over. And yesterday, big move. Now, my assumption, this is just an assumption here, with a big move like that, tomorrow will be a very interesting day because you got 2 choices. It's going to go up, it's going to go down. It's going to go up. Interesting. What's going on with that deal? Do we know? No, we don't know. Somebody knows. Okay? That will be divulged first thing tomorrow morning. Now, here's my position right here. Okay? U.S. Steel, 41.25. That's way up here. But look, I sold 3 January 25 34s, which is right here. Right now, the stock price is $33.99. I sold the 34 options. I'm 1 penny away. Can somebody exercise it and take the stocks away from me? Sure they can. But here's the thing. Their break-even point is the strike price, 34, plus the premium, 159. So that's 140. So 135.59. 135.59. Sorry. 35.59 is the break-even point because they already paid me $1.59. So why would they pay $1.59 for a stock and then lose money? No, the stock has to be $35.60 before they start seeing a profit. And right now, it's only $33.99. So I have tomorrow morning, which I am going to do as soon as the market opens. If she opens up higher, I'm going to roll that baby forward. All right? I want to grab that extra time. What does that look like? Well, let's go back up to here. Let's get this out of the way. And then let's go right here, right-click, create a rolling order. And here we go. So tomorrow morning, it looks great now. Seriously, it looks really good now. Watch this. Okay? I got 32 contracts. Not a huge amount, but the $34 strike price. So rolling, what does that entail? That entails buying back today's, this week's, see where it says 3 January? Buying back this week's 3 January 34 option and selling next week's 34 option, which would be 10 January. But look at the premium Look at where it is at the moment. It's at 258. Do you get any idea what that means? $2.58 per share. Well, how many shares do I have? 3,200. So you bust out the calculator, clear that. 3,200 shares and $2.58 is the current price to roll it forward. Multiply by $2.58. That's freaking nuts. Okay? Tell me that can't be right. Because that's a nice chunk of change. That is over, what percentage is that? 258? It can't be that. It can't be. Okay, when the market opens tomorrow morning, all these numbers are going to change. Okay? But currently, this is the number that's there. All right, 258. So yeah, tomorrow, if she opens up higher, I'm going to roll it forward. Well, I'm going to roll it forward anyway. But if she opens up a little bit higher, I'll be getting more. If she opens a little bit down, I'll be getting a little less. So I'm kind of curious what it opens up at. But we'll see tomorrow morning. What percentage did you finish up and using the strategy 2024? You do realize yesterday was the final day of the year. So I don't have all the numbers in yet to figure out what the rate of return is for 2024 yet. I'll be getting that sometime this week. Okay, what stocks do you think are good for receiving dividends? Okay, Edson, that's a very broad question. Okay, there's 9,848 different companies out there. Out of that, over 5,000 of them pay dividends. So it depends on what you're looking for. Seriously. Me, I'm looking for 2 decades of consistent profits, which means the dividends would increase for a minimum of 20 years consecutively every year. That's my priority. I have no idea what you're looking for, so I really can't give you an answer to that question without knowing more. B-Rad Daddy wants to take a look at MPW. I get more MPW than I probably should. MPW. Nice move that it made. You see that last 30 days? Look at that. Monday was a 30-day bottom. Tuesday, nice move to the upside. It's currently sitting at 390. Well, I sold the 4s. So yeah, got to keep my eye on that one tomorrow. Okay, is it okay to let the stock be called away or should we roll up? Okay, Twisted Philly, really got to ask that question in the morning session on a Friday afternoon because it all depends on the numbers. What did you buy it at? When did you buy it? How many options against it did you sell? How much rate of return do you have going against it? Where's your break even? All these kind of questions. It's kind of simple. You know, if you bought it for $1, if you bought it for $100, well, you want to sell it for $100 and collect $1 premium. That's 1% in an ideal situation. Okay, it always depends on the numbers. Where'd you jump on the bandwagon? Where are you getting it off? And what kind of a tip is the driver receiving? Okay, so MPW, here we are. That is a nice, but I like 2 days to the upside if I'm jumping in. Now I already own it, so we'll see where my position ends up. But I like the idea of collecting a premium every single week. Granted, I would prefer the premium to be better, but the 1% I'm perfectly okay with. That's a question. That's a here's the funny thing. Okay? It's a funny thing. It's not the funny thing, but it's a funny thing. Okay. If you're looking for a sunrise, you look east because you know that's what it does. If you're looking for a sunset, you go west because you know that's what it does. So if you're looking for a profit and it's right there, take it. It's kind of silly that you have to say that. It's not a profit until you take it. Okay, what do I think about Coca-Cola? Twisted Philly, USX. Never heard of it. Okay, USX. U.S. Express Enterprise, no options. That's probably why I never heard of it. Twisted Philly, what about Coca? Oh, wait a second. Twisted Philly. Edson wants to take a look at Coca-Cola. Okay. Coca-Cola. Here's the high, here's the low, here's where it was, here's where it is. Okay, where do we think it's going next? Well, by looking at the chart, it should be going straight. Should be. By looking at, this is just the 1 year chart. That should give you an idea of where it's going next. Okay, she went down, she went up, she came down, now she's going sideways. So that's the simple answer. Where's she going next? Well, probably sideways. But where's she going over the next 4, 5, 10 days? That might be a little different. So let's zoom in a little bit. A year ago, 59. We dropped all the way down to 57.80, and that was in mid-April. Okay, we topped out way in September 4th, and that was 73.53. Okay, even this chart tells you the same thing. Here's our high, drops down, now she's going sideways. Well, that's what it looks like. Well, let's zoom in a little bit closer. The last 30 days. Okay, this kind of paints a different picture. 30 days ago was the 30-day high. You can only have one 30-day high. And guess what? Yeah, you guessed it. You can only have one 30-day low. Right there. 30-day high, 30-day bottom. She shot up, she pulled back, now she's going up again. But is it? The overall direction is down, but here's the bottom, and it is bouncing up. Okay, 1 day at a time. You cannot live your life any faster than 1 day at a time. So this is what happened yesterday. This is what happened on Monday. The low is there. The high is 30 days ago. Goes down, it goes back up again. Do you like the company? That's question number one. Do I like Coca-Cola? Well, great. Is it a good time to buy? Well, it looks pretty good. Am I going to be rewarded properly? It's the 1% I'm looking for. 62.35. Well, I'll be looking at the 63, and it says 27 cents. Wait a second. That's 0.5%. Why would I want to do that? See, I like Coca-Cola. I do. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I've ever bought it because the numbers hardly ever work out. Company's 140 years old. They don't need my money. They're not going to reward me that much. Anyway, next on the list, how many more questions we got? It's 11 o'clock, so we don't have much more time left to go. Mortgage Magician. So, it drops 20 bucks. What options do you sell next week? You won't get even 25. Well, Mortgage Magician, I appreciate the question. Really, I do. However, you're missing a few key ingredients in what you're talking about. Now, are we talking about a stock that's $1,000 a share and 20 bucks is nothing? Or are we talking about a stock that's $40 and drops 20 bucks? Well, that's big. Is it a $500 stock, drops 20 bucks, means nothing? It's all relative. Okay? What are you buying? Are you buying something you're willing to hold even if it drops? Because it is going to drop and it is going to go up. That's all they do. You do not buy a stock and it just stays dead flat. That just does not happen. It goes up, it goes up, it goes down. And guess what? It's going to do the same thing next week and the week after and the week after. And I will be long gone and they'll probably be doing the exact same thing. Going up and then going down. It all depends on where you jump on the bandwagon and what your goal is. My goal, simple, safe, predictable, consistent 1% per week. If it drops 20 bucks, do I really care? Honestly, it depends. Okay? If it's a $20 stock and it drops 20 bucks, well, yeah, I'm going to be concerned. I'm not going to sell it at a loss. And I will consistently get a weekly cash flow from it, whatever size it is. Now, I showed you X, US Steel. That made me over 8% for 1 week. Well, that makes up for something like this if I'm only getting 0.5% or 0.25%. So if I only get 0.25% this week, well, that's fine because I got 8% on US Steel. Okay, Macy's I may get 1.5%. Okay, IBM I might get 0.3%. My objective is 1% per week in the overall size of the equation. So if there's $100,000 in there, I want $1,000 a week. Well, I got 8% on U.S. Steel. So everything else can be all negative numbers, and I'll still be in the positive. Okay, I'm looking at overall return. Overall return, 1% a week. That's what I'm looking for. So if the stock goes down, I don't mind, because that's what stocks do. If you buy a stock and you expect it to do something other than what they do, if you expect it to come home and take out your trash, that ain't going to happen. If you expect it to babysit next weekend because you're busy, that ain't going to happen either. They go up, they go down, that's all they do. Okay, wherever you jump on the merry-go-round, well, you make your decisions from that point. Am I looking for 1%? Great, thank you very much. I'll jump on the merry-go-round the next time it comes around. Twisted Philly, we already looked at U.S. Steel. Coles, we already looked at. CLPR, what the hell is that? Seriously. CLPR. Clipper Realty. No. Dino Monkey. Hey, Jim. Well, hey, Jim, to you too. New year, new stocks. No. New year, same old stocks. Okay, what I do, dude, seriously. Yesterday was day number 365. Do you know what today is? Today is day number 1, which means I go back to the very beginning and do it all over again. Because guess what? There's 13 weeks in every quarter. In every quarter, it starts over and over again. So tomorrow is the first day of week number 1 of the first quarter of 2025. So yeah, this little choo-choo train just got back to the station and it's starting its journey again. So day number 1 of 2025 is actually tomorrow. So year-to-date profit and loss, tomorrow I know exactly what it's going to be. 0, because tomorrow is day number 1. All right, starting over again. Okay, port went from 25 to 85,000, playing a risky penny game. Okay, I'm ready to play it slow in 2025. Well, cool beans. This is pretty damn slow. I mean, it's not slow as some other strategies, where you buy the stock and you just wait. That's slow. Here are the consistent weekly gains. That's what I'm looking for. It's not that glamorous. It's 1% a week. Why am I holding? I'm not holding because I want to. Okay? I have a couple of rules. Rule number 1, never buy something you don't understand. I buy every company because I have no problem whatsoever holding on to it for dear life until it turns around and goes back up. But in the meantime, I like to collect a cash flow from it. That's why I want weekly options. Now, the longest I've ever held anything is 9 months, and I didn't do it because I wanted to. But at this moment in time, I have a couple of positions. CVS. Okay, I bought CVS in July. Okay, but here's the thing. July, August, September, October, November, December, that's 5 months. That's coming out quickly. The longest I've ever held is 9 months. CVS, 5 months. Okay, now, here's the thing. In that 5-month time frame, I collected dividends twice. Okay, 2 dividends. And I collected a premium every single week since I bought it. So not only am I collecting a dividend, which, by the way, CVS's dividend increases every single year. So the longer I hold it, I will collect higher and higher dividends. Well, great. Not my intention. Okay, my intention, jump in, grab my 1% and get out. Well, this one, I jumped in and I'm still in it. So I gathered the dividend twice, not what I wanted to do, but I gained a whole bunch of premiums every single week. All right, let's keep on going. Let's keep on going. Uh-oh. Oh boy. La 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 la. TSLY. Hell no. Tesla truck want malfunction stock isn't crashing. Genius. Okay. No idea what that means, Jeff. I don't do Tesla because they don't do dividends. Sorry. One of my top REITs, I think MPW. I think that's the only one I have. TSLY hasn't been around long. Plus, dividends went down. Yeah, reverse split. Yuck. Ooh, Brad wants to take a look at Exxon Mobil. I like Exxon Mobil. XOM. Here we go. All right, so Exxon Mobil high was in October. Look at that. It's almost 126. The bottom was last January, probably about 96. Shoots up, goes sideways, drops down. This is interesting right here. Look at this big drop. From 126, she drops all the way down to 125. Now, that's a big drop. That's a $25 drop. A $25 drop on a $125 stock. That's a 20%. This thing drops 20%. Well, yeah, there's going to be some rebound. So what's happening here? I want to take a closer look because I know who ExxonMobil is. You know, they've been around for over 100 years. Last 90 days. Okay, doesn't look much different. Here's your high, here's your low. Okay, she went up, she went down, she went up, she went down. Now she's going back up again. Well, I like that idea. Last 30 days. Whole different picture. 30-day high, 30-day bottom. Now she's going back up. Argue all you want. You can say it works. You can say it doesn't work. You can say whatever you want. You really can't argue with facts. Okay, fact is, here's the high. Fact is, here's the low. Not my data. I get this from Charles Schwab. Okay, there's the bottom. Okay, now it's bouncing up. The 107.50s, the 108s are going for 142. 142 is more than 108. That's more than 1%. Big question. Always, always, always the big question. Do I like ExxonMobil at 107? That's it. Big question. SIDU. Do you look at yearly data or monthly data? I'm going to say yes and yes. Okay, so John, you've been here for a while because I recognize the name. You know, that's not a normal name. I don't know if that's the right word. I don't want to offend anyone. It's not common. Thank you. It's not a common name. John Mado, that's not a common name. All right. Anyway, so here's the thing. I look at the yearly chart. I look at the 90-day chart. I look at the 30-day chart. And then I look at the seasonality chart. I look at all of them. And then I make up my mind. Okay, Chuck wants to look at SIDU. SIDU. Nope. That was quick, wasn't it? James, you only trade on Mondays? No. I trade whenever I have money, but usually it's on a Monday. Oh, you can do 4. Tell me, Robinhood's open already? Right. Okay, you can do 4. X is at 34.50 on Robinhood right now. I don't like that one. So let's go here for a second. All right, so I'm going to roll it forward. What are we looking at? 258. All right, so it's open. It's sitting there. It might fill. It might not. Well, let's see what happens. One working order. So I'm going to lower my price a little bit just to make sure it gets filled. All right, that looks good. All right, so it's $7,300. Anyway, let's go back to where we were. Back to where we were. All right, so Nokia, N-O-K. N-O-K. Wait a minute. We're at that time. We're running out of time. Nokia is at 443. So the 450s, yeah, the numbers just don't work, dude. Take a look. Okay, 443. The 450 would be the closest. It's only going 2 cents to 3 cents. That's 0.5%. And when it's that low, you're going to get eaten up by the cost of the contracts. especially when you got to pay per each contract you do. And if you're only bringing in 3 or 4 cents per contract, you're actually losing money. I notice you like Ford. Do you like other outside dividend raising values? Well, Michael, it comes down to a point. Or is it Michelle? I don't know, Michelle, Michael. Getting old sucks. Okay, the eyes don't work like they used to. All right. Yeah, I like Ford. It always comes down to the numbers. Ford's over 100 years old. I don't think they're going anywhere. Okay, the book value is actually higher than the current stock price. So I like it. Worst case scenario, if the federal judge says you got to liquidate and pay off all your investors, I'll be making more that way. But yeah, the numbers look good for Ford. All right, so let's keep on answering questions because we're running out of time, and go from there. BA, that's hold on, don't tell me. Boeing, BA. We'll have to take a look at it tomorrow because I can't go everything. I try to get to every single question. Okay. So whoever asks a question, now I have different channels going. So I got TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and 2 YouTube channels. So as the questions pop up, I try to get to each and every one. So if it takes me time to get to your question, I apologize. All right, let's keep on going. So we're done with questions. Cool. So I can take a look at Boeing. So let's take a look. BA. Now, didn't Boeing stop paying dividends recently? Let's go to Yahoo Finance, because that's where I get my financial information. You guys got to figure out somewhere, somehow, where you want to get your financial information, because you need more than one resource, so to speak. All right, so we're looking at, what are we looking at? Damn it, getting old sucks. Boeing, thank you. BA. Boeing has no dividends at this time, so sorry. Sorry, Charlie. Starkiss don't want tuna with good taste. Starkiss wants tuna that tastes good. Okay, we already looked at McDonald's earlier. Pedro, Starbucks? I like Starbuckies. SBUX. Made some good trades on Starbuckies this year. Here we go. The high of the year was at 103 just recently. The bottom, looks like they have a double bottom in May and again in July. Okay, whatever it is. See who wins. Who's the lowest? I don't know. Let me take a closer look. A year ago, we're at 93. We drop down, shoot back up, pull back. Here we are after a retrace after this fall. That's where I want to take a look, because that's where the action is. That's where we are now. This is all history. This has already happened. The only thing this is good for is to give us an idea of the flow. The flow started here. It went down, it went up. Great. Where's the river flowing now? Okay? Last 90 days. Well, here you go. Here's the high, here's the low. Look at the movement. Up, down, up. Well, that's easy to see. The closer you get to where the action is, okay, that's yesterday, okay, the closer you get, the better you can see. So where are we looking for now? Right here. Last 30 days. Total different picture. 30 days ago was the high. Here's your 30-day bottom. Well, she is going towards the upside. We had a little bit of a pullback Monday. But Tuesday, we have a higher high and a higher low. Still clearly going to the upside. Look where your high is. Way up here at 102. Look where you are now, 91. Okay, you get your profit taken, gets to a certain point. Trust me, I'm an investor. When stocks go up, I jump out and I take the money, because here's something you may not know. Nobody ever went broke taking profits. And it's not a profit until you take it. It may look good on paper, but if you don't take it, you can't pay your bills with it. And that's what I do. All right, so Mickey D's where I looked at. What do I think about Tesla? No dividends, no thank you. That's what I think about Tesla. All right, so we're out of questions. Awesome, we're done for the night. This is January 1st. Tomorrow is the first trading day of the year. Let's see what happens. We got 2 days left in the week. However, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. All right, done with you guys. Have a lovely day. Done with you guys. Have a lovely day. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, for which I'm certain. I've